Hey everyone, in this video we are going to discuss the problem B of Codeforces round 1103. So let's read out the problem statement. The problem statement is during the holidays, Igor came to visit his friend Dabir in the city of Kazan. Out of boredom, Dabir and Igor came up with a new business idea, that is to make their own TV show. The format of the show is very simple. In each episode, they will invite a guest and play a game with them on a binary string. In today's episode, Iger and Dabir invited Arsani, aka Makan, the main celebrity of Forms. For the game, they choose a binary string S of length n and integer k. Arsani can make an unlimited number of moves. In one move, he can choose an integer I and invert the characters at positions I and I plus k, that is 0 to 1 and 1 to 0. For example, if s equals to this, k equals to 2, then by choosing I equals to 2, Arsani inverts the characters at position 2 and 4. Okay, Arsani wants to get the main prize. This must to Greeks. To make this, he needs to make the string x equals to 0. Help Arsani determine whether he can get the prize or he will have to return to Omsk with nothing. Okay, so the problem is we are given n and k and a string of length n, that is a binary string, and we can apply operation any number of operations on the string where we can choose a index I and we can invert the characters at positions I and I plus k. At the end, our target is to make all characters of the string equals to 0. We need to find if it is possible to make all the characters of the string equals to 0 or not. Okay, so simple. Let's take an example of this string, uh, this sample test case. So here these are the values of n, k and the string. So what we can do is, as we can choose I equals to 0 for the first operation. Let's choose I equals to 0. Then we will invert the characters at position I equals to 0 and I equals to 2. This will become 0, this will become 0. As both are equals to 1, then we will invert. After inverting, the first character will be equals to 0. Second, we have not applied any operation. Third is also third also become to 0, and fourth is already 0. So after one operation, we have after applying the first operation, we are able to make s equals to 0. So yes, for this case it is possible, and answer is yes. So let's take any general n, k and the string, right? So string, let's represent by s1, s2, s3, s4 up to sn, and each si is either 0 or 1. Okay, so let's solve the problem for this particular string. How we will solve, right? So if you see the constraint over n and k are 10 to power 5, so they are expecting us to solve this problem in linear time. So observe one thing, right? So let's take, if you choose 1, then what pair of indexes are you, on what pair of indexes are you able to make operations? So let's take I equals to 1, then your chosen pair will be I1 equals to 1 and I2 equals to 1 plus k, right? You will apply, if you choose I equals to 1, then you will apply the invert operation on these two indices. Let's take I equals to 2, then 2 comma 2 plus k. You will apply operations on this. If you choose I equals to 3, you will apply 3 comma 3 plus k. So observe one thing. Let's say you will reach Similarly you will reach I equals to k. In this case you will apply operations on k comma k plus k, right? And let's say you will reach k plus 1. This is k plus 1. In this case you will apply operations on k plus 1 comma k plus k plus 1, right? So are you able to observe one thing here, that is, don't you think these indices are repeating here, right? So this by this what I mean is, don't you think this segment is repeating here, like 1 then 1 plus k then k plus 1 then 2k plus 1. So you will observe one thing is, that is, you can divide this string into some parts, that is, first part will be 1 1 plus k 1 plus 2k 1 plus 3k up to this, right? So to make it more clear, what I mean is, so let's say you applied operations. So I'm asking you one thing: can you apply operation on uh, 1 and 2k plus 1 and don't change the character 1 plus k? Are you able to apply? Means at the end your 1 plus k index should be as it is. Can you apply operation? Yes, you can apply. How? Let's apply operation on 1 and 1 plus k. You will invert you will invert the character at position 1 and you will invert the character at position 1 plus k. Then again apply operation on 1 plus k and 2k plus 1, right? In this case you will again invert the character at position 1 plus k. Now it will become its original character because you have inverted it two times. Then it becomes the original which was already in the string, right? And you will apply invert operation on this character. So what you see is your 1 plus k is the original character, but 1 and 2k plus 1 are inverted in this case. So if you observe more clearly, here we can divide this uh, string into some uh, array of indices, and you will observe that we can apply our invert operation on any of the two indices in this array, any of the two indices uh, without inverting any other character in the end, right? So let's say you can invert these two indices and at the end these two will remain same. How will you do it? How will you do this? Invert these two characters, then again these two characters. Now this character is in the original state and this is inverted. Now again apply invert operation in on these two characters, right? Now this is in its original state because it has already applied we have already applied two operations, and this is in inverted state. So yes, we can invert any two indices in this array, right? And the second will be 2 2 plus k 2 plus 2k up to, right? And similarly for 3 also. So you will see we will do this for k 2k 3k, right? So these many arrays these are the k arrays in which we can divide the original string, and now in each of this array we can apply operation on any two indices, right? and let's say there are odd number of ones in this array, right? So let's say there is one here and one here and one here. Then you cannot make all zeros in this array, right? Because let's say apply invert operation in these two, then this will become 0, this will become 0, but it will be still 1. So what we mean here is that in each of the arrays you must have even number of ones, right? Even number of ones. Then only you will be able to make 0 at the end of the operations, right? So let's also see the code. So this is the code. What we have done here is we are just iterating over each of the segments, right? These segments, and checking if any of the segment contain odd number of ones, then we will return no, otherwise we will return yes. So here we are iterating over each of the k segments, and starting from the first index of the segment to the end of the segment, we will check if there are odd number of segments or even number of segments. So if there are odd number of sorry, even number of zeros, even number of ones, or odd number of ones. So if there are odd number of ones, then we will say we cannot make all the characters of the string equals to 0. In this case, we will say no and return. Otherwise, we will say yes if all of these segments contain even number of zeros. So I hope you understood this solution. Thank you.